Hello. Well, happy 2022. Let me tell you, my 2022 started off first day literally in the Dublin airport trying to get home. I stood in a line for 2 hours to try and get an antigen test because my PCR COVID test did not come through as expected. I'm telling you what, flying internationally is like being a contestant on The Amazing Race, especially during COVID, because you got to read every little thing you got to do. There's like all kinds of different tests, and you have to take this test within this time frame if you're going to this place. And if you get one thing wrong, you're out of the game. And that's what happened to us when we were flying home. We went to Ireland for 2 weeks, had a beautiful Christmas in Ireland with my in-laws, and it was a magical time. And then time to come home, thought I figured everything out appropriately, but I did not. So we ended up sitting in the Dublin airport waiting for this test result to come back. And I was waiting, kept looking at my phone, hoping it would come back. Never came back. And it came back eventually at 9 o'clock at night, which was too late for us. So eventually we just had to, okay, what are you going to do? Hang it up, go home and deal with it. And so we went back, we rented a new car, went back to his mom's, and my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law were there with a nice cozy room with a beautiful dinner waiting for us. And it's just like, okay, we'll get home eventually. And then we just basically had to regroup, pick ourselves up from where we were and start all over again and try and figure out how we were going to get home to the States. It was questionable for a while. I was starting to think I might be living in Ireland. I might be becoming an Irish citizen sooner than I thought. So we eventually made it back. It wasn't ideal how we made it back. We had to get up early in the morning, take an antigen test. We got the results back like that. Got on a flight to London Heathrow and spent 18 hours in the London Heathrow airport. Good times. Here's a little tip if you're ever stuck on an 18-hour layover in the London Heathrow airport. Don't be fooled by the chairs in Terminal 3, Gate 7. They look comfortable, but they're not. They are not. Anyway, by the time we made it home, we were happy to be home. So I thought, okay, well, what's the Monday message for this week? And I think the perfect one that I need to hear is patience and acceptance. Patience and acceptance. That's the message I want to share today, not only with you, but to myself. Because you know what? I want what I want, and I want it now. And I want it to happen my way, quick, now. And it doesn't always happen that way, and I just have to do the best of my ability to accept, okay, this is the way things are. This is where we are. So I'm just going to have to keep moving forward. I don't always know the reason for things happening the way they do. As it turned out, that extra day that we had to spend in Ireland, we ended up going to the graveyard again. And Brian ran into his aunts and uncles that he hadn't seen in years. And we hadn't had a chance to see him. So God made it happen to where he could see his aunts and uncles. It was no mistake that day, that added bonus day turned out to be perfect according to God's plan. And he got to see his relatives that he really loved and needed to see. So it was actually a good thing that we missed that flight because we wouldn't have gotten to see them. And so I have to understand for myself, God's got a plan. God's got a perfect plan. All I have to do is show up, do my things, keep my side of the street clean, be kind, loving, and good to all, and let God do the rest. God's going to handle all the rest. I had to do that in my sobriety. When I came into the rooms 24 years ago, I wanted the pain to stop now. I don't want to feel the pain anymore. I want to feel okay. That's all I want to do. I want to feel okay without a drink. And I just want the pain to stop. And pain stayed for a long time. And eventually, slowly but surely it left. And then eventually I found more pain to replace that pain. being the good alcoholic addict that I am. But eventually that pain left too. And, I found more pain. But through each painful circumstance, I always found God, God's loving hand guiding me, and God's grace was there the whole time. So if you are feeling, why can't this happen now? I want this now. I want what I want and I want it now. Now. It's okay. You know what? Uh, it's going to happen, but it's going to happen perfectly according to God's time, not my time today. So so it's going to happen for you. Just be patient, do the footwork. Might not be what you thought it would be, but there's a reason. There's a reason. I truly believe there's a reason for everything. And so I just got to be patient with the process. Let God work. Let God do his thing or her thing, whatever your higher power is. God's at work. God's hard at work with you today. And you're not alone. You're never alone. So trust that today you're right where you need to be according to God's plan for you. And it's all going to work out according to God's time, not my time today. So I hope this is a good way for you to start your new year off. If you've already given up on your New Year's resolutions, well, welcome to the club. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But just be patient with the process, accept where you are today, and do the best that you can according to God's plan for you, and keep following that towards that goal, and you'll get there. You'll get there. So have a wonderful week. I will see you next week for another edition of Monday Messages. And happy 2022. If you're liking these, go ahead and subscribe. Let's keep in touch this year. Let's go on this journey together. All right.